Just after Sommah turned 12, knew her birthday is New Year's Day, so just a few months after, we noticed that there was a period cycle came and it didn't stop. So we was wondering, right, something, probably just hormones and all that. But then when we realized that it started to give her a lot of pain and it became heavier, I tried to use natural medicine. It stopped. But then when it stopped and it comes back like 2-3 weeks after, her cycle starts again. It just becomes heavier. Every time it stops, come back, it's just heavier, more pain, back and forth to the hospital. We end up to the hospital many times. In between, she had months. I think at that time that was roughly about 11 to 13 discharge papers from the hospital. That's means she's back and forth in between. One Saturday, I remember it was raining like crazy, and she wanted to pee, but she was in pain to pee, and I was like, wow. So I had to run to her and tell her, hold on me, and if you have to scream. And I stood there, she held my hand, and she, trying to pee, and come the pain. It wasn't anything burning, it was just pain. And eventually, even before that, she said, "Mommy, come here." When I looked, I saw something. It's like a shell. So I looked up and I realized something like a shell, like a rainbow, some lines. I said, okay, don't worry about it. We will think. So we went to the doctor's office, and then Dr. told us, send us to the hospital, and they were saying that they wanted to, it's probably an endometrial polyp. So they wanted to do the surgery, take it out. And then the doctor, John, came back and said, if they cannot stop the bleeding, if they want permission to take out her uterus. And I said no, because that's not what we were told she was coming up here for. And that was that week. Then the weekend after that, that's when she had to hold on me to pee, because it's such in pain, not even realizing that she was having a prolapsed uterus. So her uterus collapsed on that day, and it was like hanging out. It didn't just fall, it was literally hanging out of her body. So by the time we got to the hospital, and maybe in a space of half an hour, it was already out of her body, hanging out like a small ball. That's when, and then after, called her Dr. Tula, other doctors, Dr. Mansour, and they did a C-section to put it back up. And then some tests was done, and a few weeks after we got the result, that's when we found out that she had cancer. But it was a rare cancer, but it wasn't confirmed. They only did the test and said it looks like this, and then they suggested that we sent her overseas. She went up in the 7th of November, and by just before Christmas, they said they couldn't do anything else. We had already tried 2 chemo treatments, and what they were expecting and what they were hoping was to shrink the tumors, but they didn't shrink. What ended up happening by a very big miracle, the tumors, they died, but they didn't shrink. That's what happened. So her doctor, Dr. Wexler, so love him, he looked over her chart one day and something was wrong. When they did the test, that's when they noticed that the tumors had died, they had no life, they stopped growing, so meaning the treatment worked, but they had to take them out. They did a surgery after that, and they didn't even wait 2 days. They did a major surgery. They cut her from here down, right down, take out the 2 tumors along with her uterus, unfortunately. So she will not be able to have children. So that's what happened at that time. And then she continued her chemo treatment and her radiation treatment. And around May, she was deemed cancer-free. So that means the treatment was working. They didn't even realize, because they were looking for the tumors to get small, but it didn't get small. They just stayed at their size, but just died. Just didn't have any life. That's why they misdiagnosed her, because misdiagnosed her to the point where they were already looking for her to just die. It's just waiting. It was a waiting game.
Rhabdomyosarcoma. Yes, it's a rare cancer. Like when I was little, I used to watch movies with like the wife of the movie would they would do memorial of her because she died of cancer. And then like when I found out I had cancer, I was like, is this the stuff that I watch on TV? Like, am I gonna die as like the wife on the TV died? But then as like I got older and older, I started to figure out that you don't die suddenly. You have to go through treatment, you have to go through surgery and so forth like that. So I was like, I never gave up. I would cry every day, but I would never give up. And I would never see people make me cry. I would never make people see me cry because, yeah. And like if you ask me how I'm feeling and I'm in pain, my word would be, I'm good. So I'm always good. I have this mentality where that if you don't try, you never know what would happen. So I told myself to never give up and to always try.
Her colon was damaged by the radiation treatment, and they didn't notice that because they weren't really focused on that part of her stomach. So that's why she had to go back up in August last year, and I got through the travel in November. So when we were up there, we had a good time, but as soon as when I got there, it's like everybody was like, "Ooh, mommy's here! Yeah, finally, mommy's here! Woohoo!" And Sommah just started to heal. She did a surgery to untwist her bowels, but they had planned 2 more surgeries for her. And when I got there, I don't know if it was me, I don't know if it was the energy, I really don't know. But when I got there, she didn't do those 2 surgeries, she only did 1. And that was good. They were like, wow, Sommah exceeded every single expectation for her surgery team. She was good in the oncology department because it was cancer-free for me, but the other issue was the damaged bowels. With the hospital and medical benefit, you know, some things are covered from medical. When she was here before, just before she went to the US, so we didn't really have an issue. So they helped as much as can, you know, because of her card and medication and prescription and stuff like that. Yeah. Before, I was a mess. If you would ask me this question before November, I wouldn't know what to tell you. But when she did the surgery, that's when I started to get myself back together mentally, physically, you know, spiritually, everything.
I stay alive by shopping, eating seafood. I love seafood. It's like when I was doing chemo, like I wouldn't have an appetite, but like the only thing I would eat is a seafood boil, and it has to be spicy, or I would not eat it. I would not eat it. I was like, stay always on TikTok, watch movies, go shopping. Yeah, Shein especially. Yeah.
Stay strong, keep fighting, never give up, support your child to the max. Stay positive and keep your faith. Never give up. Always not believe, always know that everything will be okay, and it will be okay.
I would say to always pray, never give up, and keep fighting. And never let anybody tell you that you can't, because you can.
Her energy has always been positive here, but when she got there to the US, it was like everybody loved her. I have to check in with them all the time. Social workers, everybody loves Sommah.
I had one question. It would be, why me? But like, everybody would say that God chose you for a reason. But I was still asked, why me? Why now? Same answer. God chose you for a reason. No other answer I got from that. A person once told me that when they were feeling sad and didn't have energy to do anything, they said they thought about me and they keep pushing because of how strong I am. And everybody says that I inspire them to do greatness and to move forward and to have strength all the time and to never give up. So I'm happy for that. I'm always happy. I crack jokes. If I'm crying, I will laugh. I will die. I'm always happy. If you see I'm crying, then you know it's like bad, like I'm sick and I'm hurting. But other than that, I'm always laughing and smiling and carrying on with my craziness, especially at school.
So for now, we're in a good place. We're just living life. We're just taking it one day at a time, try to get back to some sort of normalcy, because it's like for some it's like we were interrupted. So we're just trying to get slowly but surely back to some sort of normalcy. So that's where we're at now.